Guten Tag, dear friends. Johann Sebastian Bach here. They tell me I am remembered, that my music lives on even now. If only I had known. You see, in my day, I was simply Herr Bach, a working musician, nothing more. But let me tell you my story, meine Geschichte, so you can understand how music and life, for me, vary always one and the same. Oh, and don't miss the outtakes at the end of this video anyway. Lass uns gehen. Let's go. I was born in Eisenach, Germany, in 1685. A small town, yeah, but a place full of life and music. You see, in those days, Germany was a land of church choirs, street musicians, and family gatherings for Herre everyone sang. The Bach family, well, we were known all across Thüringen for our music. They say there were around 50 of us Bachs, playing music all over Germany. And believe me, for us, music was like bread and water. But life was not so kind at first. My parents died when I was only 9 years old. 9. So young and so alone. But I was taken in by my brother, Johann Christoph, who was an organist and a strict teacher. He was good to me, but not indulgent, you might say. He kept his precious music books locked away, but well, I was a stubborn boy. Every night, I would sneak into his study by candlelight and copy out the pages, note by note, so that I could learn. This was how I discovered the power and mystery of music. By the time I was in my 20s, I was ready to work, to compose, to explore music. My first real post was in Arnstadt, a small town with an old beautiful organ. Wunderbar, eyes out. But soon there were problems. You see, I had many opinions on how music should be played. I would play long, complicated pieces, and I believed church music should uplift the soul, reach for the divine, but of the clergy. They did not always appreciate my enthusiasm. Let's just say I was often called in for meetings about my performance style. And then there was an incident. Well, let me explain. I took a trip to Lübeck, quite a distance away, to hear the great organist Dietrich Buxtehude. A true master. I stayed much longer than I was supposed to, and when I returned, well, my employers were not so pleased. But that trip taught me so much. It opened my mind to new harmonies and styles. You see, I always believed that music must grow, expand, and explore new paths. After a few years in Arnstadt, I moved to Weimar. Here, I became the court organist. Weimar. This was a rich and cultured place, and here I was able to write and play as I wished. I composed my famous organ works there, such as the Toccata and Fugue in D minor. You have heard it, ja? That piece was my way of exploring the depths and heights of music, the light and darkness, all in one. But life in Weimar was not without trouble. There was a struggle for power between the Duke and his nephew. I was caught in the middle and, well, I ended up imprisoned for a month. Unglaublich, nicht wahr? A composer, a court musician, locked away because of political disagreements. But I wrote music in my mind every day in that cell. Music was something that they could not take from me. In 1717, I accepted a position in Cöthen, where I served Prince Leopold. Now, Prince Leopold, was für ein guter Mann, was young, enthusiastic, and a lover of music. He gave me freedom. I was finally able to focus on instrumental compositions, rather than only religious works. My Brandenburg concertos, the violin sonatas, cello suites, Zeze pieces, poured out of me. I wrote them for the talented musicians I had at my disposal. pieces meant to push their skills, their limits to new heights. It was during this time that I composed the Well-Tempered Clavier, a collection of preludes and fugues in every major and minor key. A groundbreaking work. You see, I wanted to prove that music could be played in any key and still sound beautiful. Today it seems obvious, but in those days, it was revolutionary. But life, as always, was bittersweet. In Cöthen, I suffered one of my greatest personal losses. My dear wife, Maria Barbara, passed away suddenly. She had been my partner, my solace, and the mother of our children. Her loss was a blow, a wound that never fully healed. But I had to continue, for our children, for my music. Das Leben geht weiter. In 1723 I took up the position in Leipzig as the Thomas Cantor. I was responsible for teaching, composing, and performing. Every week, I had to produce a new cantata. This meant writing and rehearsing an entire piece each week. Sometimes I wondered if they thought I was a machine. But I saw it as my duty to God, to create music that would elevate the hearts and minds of all waited. It was in Leipzig that I composed St. Matthew Passion, a work that took efferising out of me. This piece was my testament, a journey through the suffering and triumph of Christ. I poured my faith, my struggles, my own grief into this music. It was my way of communicating with God. In my final years in Leipzig, I faced a slow, painful loss of sight. My eyes, which had served me so well in reading scores, in writing music, began to fail. I tried to continue as best as I could, dictating my compositions to my sons and students. But the music in my mind was still vivid bright. Even when I could no longer see, I could still hear every note. I left this world in 1750. My life was simple, even humble, but filled with music. Die Musik war mein Leben. I did not know then that my work would be played, studied, and cherished by generations to come. If only I had known, but then, perhaps it is better this way. I wrote music for the glory of God, not for fame. Soli Deo Gloria. To God alone the glory. So, my friends, when you hear my music, whether it's a fugue, a cantata, or a simple melody, know that it comes from a life of devotion, sacrifice, and love for the divine. I am Bach, Johann Sebastian Bach, a servant of music, a servant of God. Thank you, and may music fill your life as it filled mine. And remember, music can transport you to the most magical places if you just let it. Until next time, my friends, auf Wiedersehen. And subscribe for more magical music adventures.